Hello everyone, this is Chakawat here, and welcome to the 49th dream vlog. I woke up in like a daze this morning because this dream was really vivid. So it was like a post-apocalyptic Earth setting, but really it just looked like Mars. It looked like the surface of Mars. And I was living with some other survivors in this shelter that was built in the side of a rock face. So it was large, but it was also very crude. One wall was obviously the rock, and then the wall opposite that was a big window. So it was a big glass wall that we could see out of, so we could see the waste basically. And then the ceiling, you know those like weaving things that you can get little kids, and it has like the bands, and it's the little, you can just weave and you can make like little oven pads. It looked like one of those. It was like really colorful and kind of poorly woven, and it was just draped over the top. It was gigantic. So I was living there with a man and a woman, and they were pretty young, and they were a couple, and then an older gentleman. And the man and woman were out looking for supplies or whatever, and I was left alone with the old man. And he thought that the other two were looking for someone, I guess, who lived with us. And he kept saying, like, I can hear him, and I know where he is, and I need to go look for him. So he ran out of the shelter, which didn't really have a door, so he just kind of like pushed the glass aside and ran. And I knew that the man and woman would be mad at me for chasing after him because they asked me to stay inside. Nonetheless, I still went after him because I was worried. And it felt like I was kind of floating through the air, and I was like, I was working really, really hard to like move across the waste, and I turned like a corner because there was more rocks, and I couldn't find him anywhere, and I was really distressed. And then I could hear the man and woman talking to me, but I couldn't see them. And sorry, I just remembered a funny text I just sent. Anyway, I could hear the man and woman talking to me, and they were chastising me for chasing after the man. But then they also offered to take me with them for scavenging, and I was like, that sounds great, let's go. And so they led me across the waste, and then all of a sudden everything was really green, and we were in this big cavern. And it was very bright, and there were lots of ruins everywhere, but it was a weird way I was looking at it, like it was dream logic to the max. It felt like I was so much larger than everything else. Like I wasn't even a person, I was just something that was like very big, but whenever I walked around, all of a sudden I became very small, and I like fit into this little cavern. And around the cavern were lots of ruins, and there were also these little blots of paint everywhere, and there was like obstacle courses. I don't know how many of y'all have played Epic Mickey, but if you remember the level, which is the Haunted Mansion level, part of it looked like the swamp in that level. I love that level. That Epic Mickey is a great game. So we're walking around, and the woman warns me because I'm starting to get really frightened because I can hear the paint. It's like talking to us, and it's beckoning me and threatening me, and she's like, don't listen to it, it's really bad. So we started gathering more supplies and like climbing through the jungle gym of all of these ruins. And then we decided to have some fun, so we started making dice and collecting dice, and we painted and we wrote letters and we used construction paper, and we were just having fun. The man, he made this like makeshift bar by stepping behind the root of what looked like to be a really beautiful root of a beanstalk. It was like nice and green and cool. And then all of a sudden I look up, and the ceiling above us is now much lower. And it's like these see-through leaves. And I see rustling, and I get really scared, so I usher them out. I'm like, it's time to go. And so we dart into this tunnel, bright and green, and the rustling is getting closer, so I grab the bag of our goodies and I start like kind of dodging it. Like if I think the rustling is to the right, I go to the left, and they start getting mad at me for going so fast, and they think I'm trying to leave them behind, but I'm not. I'm just trying to get our stuff safely. And then we reach the end of the tunnel, and we're back at our house, and there are so many more people inside now, but apparently they were just living there the whole time, you know, dream logic again. And so I pass through our goodies to this older woman inside, and then I crawl in and they crawl in behind me, and we start going over our goodies now that we're all safe. And then the woman, the woman I was with, she's going through all of our paintings, and she gets really distressed because she can't find this one that she did. And so she pulls out her phone, apparently we still have those, and so she scrolls through and she sees on this like social network or whatever for all of the people living in the waste, this man, he like put up a listing of her painting for sale, and she wants it back. And so she starts messaging him, and I'm like, well, don't let him come sell it here because our shelter is very fragile and I'm very nervous that something will happen to it if it's found. And so he reassures the woman that I'm living with that they can meet at the halfway point between our shelter and the edge. And the edge is basically the ocean, but the edge it looks very white. It's a little eerie. I remember just seeing it for a little bit inside the dream. And so I just start pacing around in our shelter as everyone is having fun with all the goodies and stuff we got. And then I woke up. And yeah, that was an interesting dream, and I just kind of reflected on it for a little bit while I was in bed, and I'm really glad I was able to write it down, because I had another dream that I tried writing down, but I just couldn't get it all down. I couldn't remember it in any order that made sense. And I'm like, I know this is not the sequence of events, how it happened. And so I'm really glad I was able to get this done. Each time I'm like, alright, I'm going to make a video. And then I'm like, alright, what's it going to be about? And then I'm like, I don't know. And so we're struggling over here a little bit at Choco What, but I promise I will keep making videos as much as I'm able, and I am very happy for all the support. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my video, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye!
And a 1 and a 2. My dreams are so awesome. My dreams are so rad.
So as many of you know, I am a citizen of the USA, and currently our country is suffering from a crisis at the border. Immigrants seeking asylum in the US are being detained. Families are being separated and kept in detention centers in horrible conditions. All of it is scary and horrible, and a bit hard to come to terms with. So until things start getting better, I'm placing this message at the end of all of my videos to try to use what little influence I have to bring awareness and help. There are a number of things you can do to help. One of the simplest things is to donate to Immigrant Families Together, who are fundraising money to pay the bonds of detained immigrants and also provide necessities to families such as hygiene products, food, and shelter. This organization is also looking for volunteers. You can also take direct action by calling your state's government's officials and try to make your voice heard, and also refuse to let your taxes go to fund these facilities. There are many groups online that are looking for help to make sure these people are treated like human beings and receiving the help they desperately need. Let's prove that there is still hope for humanity and help solve this crisis in the most humane way possible. Remember, showing kindness isn't political. It's just the right thing to do. Thank you.